issues of being an early adopter of one of the next-gen consoles means that you have to put up with the slow pace at which the games are being released. I mean, I search all of the different websites and I check all the different release schedules to try and find out what the next game is. And this obsession to try and find out what the new games are has even led me to go to places like Indie GoGo and Kickstarter just to see some games that might get funded and might be out on the Xbox One. I put together just a few here that I think might be coming out in the next year or two on the Xbox One. Satellite Reign is a real-time, class-based strategy game set in an open-world cyberpunk city from the creators of Syndicate Wars. You create a team of 4 agents, each with distinct and unique abilities, collectively battling for control of a fully simulated, living cyberpunk city. The game world is designed to facilitate emergent gameplay, giving you lots of tools and freedom to play how you want to play. So you can even create strategies and scenarios that not even the creators themselves had anticipated. I mean, this is obviously the spiritual successor to Syndicate Wars, and the early alpha footage makes it look absolutely fantastic. Hover, Revolt of Gamers is an open-world, futuristic, free-running and parkour game inspired by great games such as Jet Set Radio and Mirror's Edge. It places itself on another world and puts you in charge of a band of gamers revolted against the oppression and the anti-video game laws that rule the city. The game sees you traversing this colourful, futuristic city, doing delivery runs, freeing citizens and recruiting other gamers. Those gamers can then be part of your team and then become playable, and you have the ability to gain extra experience in order to improve their statistics. This game is particularly adapted for the Oculus Rift, and the game offers an exceptional immersion as well as a totally new, breathtaking sensation. Particularly looking forward to this one. Mighty No. 9 is an all-new Japanese side-scrolling action-adventure that takes all the best aspects of the 8 and 16-bit era classics and transforms them with modern tech, fresh mechanics and fan input into something really special. You play as Beck, the 9th in line of powerful robots and the only one not infected by a mysterious computer virus that has caused mechanical creatures all over the world to go berserk. Run, jump, blast and transform your way through 6 or more stages, and you can tackle in any order you choose, using weapons and abilities stolen from your enemies to take down your fellow mighty number robots and confront the final evil that threatens the planet. From the developer that did Mega Man, this is the spiritual successor to that series, and it's shaping up to be one to watch on the next-gen consoles. Shanti is a human-genie hybrid, a half-genie who hair whips monsters with her ponytail and belly dances to transform into magical creatures. She explores Sequinland, solves labyrinths, trashes epic bosses, and foils the busty buccaneer Risky Boots, always managing to save the day. She's been featured in 3 adventures so far, all designed for the Nintendo handhelds, but now Shanti has her sights on the living room. This is a side-scrolling and cartoon adventure with a lot of Metroid-style gameplay, and it looks to be a fantastic title for both young and old. The recently funded Shaq Fu is coming to a next-gen console, and I couldn't be more excited. I mean, we're talking Streets of Rage meets Street Fighter meets Devil May Cry. It's a modern-day take on the classic beat-em-up. You play Shaquille O'Neal, and in that you've got to learn hundreds of moves and battle techniques, take on thousands of enemies with dozens of cool melee weapons, battle bosses in dynamic arenas, master cool finishing moves, and play it with your buddies in a co-op mode or even against each other in a player v player combat version. Shaq Fu is what the original game should have been, an instant classic. Diesel Stormers is very close to being funded, but it's not there yet. This is a high-octane carnage for 1 to 4 players featuring customizable motor guns, gas-guzzling knight armor, generated levels and a randomized loot. You play a mechanized robot in Ravensdale, a city where the medieval meets machine, a place where armor is powered by roaring engines and princesses wield wrenches in oil-stained overalls. Diesel Stormers is a furious run-and-gun game that follows the inhabitants taking back their city from a rampaging orc horde. On release, the game will have a story and campaign mode that offers you to pick among a range of different missions with varying difficulties, objectives and parameters. The game can be played in a single player mode or with up to 4 teammates in a co-op multiplayer mode. If you like the sound and look of this one, then definitely get over to Kickstarter now, because there's only another 24 hours left. One game that has reached its funding level but hasn't quite reached its stretch goal for the Xbox is a game called The Way. This tells the story of a member of a space explorers team who's lost a loved one and cannot accept his death. This visually looks very much like Another World or Heart of Darkness or even Flashback. And finally, there's Chasers, which is nowhere near its funding level, and so it sadly will not be out on Xbox, but it does look like it could be a pretty fun game. The premise of Chasers is more of a Tom and Jerry or a Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner type game, where one is always chasing after the other one and tigging them or bashing them over the head or throwing anvils on them. It just seems really innocent and really fun, so we'll hope that sometime in the future this might be created for Xbox. So there we have it, a rundown of just a few games that are out on Indie GoGo and Kickstarter. Many of them have already reached their targets. There are some that are still looking for help. So if you like any of these, donate and keep an eye out for all these on the Xbox One.